everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft. Welcome back to the channel. Today's process video is a pocket page using all of the photos that I had set aside for the month of May in 2023. These are photos that don't necessarily need to have their own scrapbook layout, so I put all of those together into a pocket page, and it makes it really easy to get all of these photos scrapbooked, and then it's just a nice sort of way to start all of those months' scrapbook layouts inside my album, whether it's the very first layout of the album or it's somewhere in the middle. I really enjoy doing these, and I have been doing them, I think, since my 2020 photos, I think. So I'm on year 3 of doing these types of pocket pages, and I purchased my pocket pages at scrapbook.com. I got a variety pack. So for today's layout, I didn't even really look at what I was grabbing. I just grabbed one of the pocket pages, and I ended up with one that has 3 horizontal 4x6 pockets, 2 vertical 4x6 pockets, and then like a 12x2 vertical strip on the inside. This is a one that I don't use that often. I have probably the most of this style left over in my variety pack. And probably I don't use it that often because of that 12x2 strip. And I will get to that in a few moments when I finally start inserting the paper into that pocket. The one thing I will say about all of these pockets, as opposed to the other variety of pocket page styles, is that these pockets open on the side instead of on the top. And I don't really like that because I feel like when you're flipping through the album, it's easy for stuff to start sliding out through the side, especially the vertical ones. The horizontal ones, not so much, but the vertical ones, definitely, you notice that they kind of start shifting a little bit. So you just have to be kind of careful with that when they're in your album. But other than that, I do like the different variety of the pocket page styles that came in this pack, and I know that you can probably find other styles from other manufacturers, but I was placing an order with scrapbook.com, and so that's where I purchased these from. If you also do pocket pages, let me know what size or style you prefer down in the comments below. And before we really go any further, if you are not subscribed yet, but you want to see more scrapbook process videos, then definitely hit that subscribe button. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for returning and scrapbooking along with me, if maybe that's what you're doing, or just watching along while you're doing something else. Sometimes I watch people's process videos while I'm scrapbooking. So even if I'm not taking direct inspiration from their video, it's nice to have that on in the background and then kind of see other things that people are doing in their videos. So maybe that's what you're doing as well. The collection I'm using for this is the Simple Stories Life Captured collection. It is not new. I feel like I got it at the beginning of last year, so maybe it came out, it was either the 2023 collection or the 2022 collection. I kind of can't remember now. But I like the Simple Stories collections. They do one of these every year, and I like it because there's always a cut apart that has the month labeled. As you can see, I used the May 4x6 cut apart in the very center of my pocket page. And then there's always a cut apart that has a calendar, a monthly calendar on it. So I use that, and I go back and I circle the numbers that correspond to the days that all of the photos I'm scrapbooking were taken. And I do that at the end because, as you'll see in a few moments, sometimes I am going through these photos and putting them into the pocket pages, and I realize maybe I have too many. And so there are going to be those two at the very top. I am going to take those 2 out and put them together and create a separate layout for those, just because I needed the space, I needed the room. And if I wanted to do like extra embellishments and stuff and not just have it be so just a photo in every pocket, I needed to take some of those photos out. So the 2 that I'm taking out, there's one, well, both of them have to do with Moms Demand Action. What is it called? Moms Against, now I can't think of what it's called. It's an organization that works for promoting and advocating for common sense gun laws to prevent school shootings, suicides, accidental firings, that kind of thing. So there's a photo of me. The vertical one is I did an online training about how to take pictures at these moms' events and post them on social media. And so they had us take a selfie of ourselves during the training. And then the horizontal one is actually at an event nearby me. There was a Mother's Day rally. And so I went to that with my sister-in-law, and I took a photo. And so the two of those I'm going to end up putting together on a separate layout. I don't know if I'll do a process video for that. We'll just have to kind of see. But you might see a finished layout of that in an upcoming layout share video that I do. I do one of those at the beginning of every month when I remember, and that just goes through all of the layouts and cards that I have created so that the things that I haven't done process videos for, you can still see what I made. And even if maybe you've missed some process videos, you can get a reminder to go back and watch those process videos if you would like to. All right, so what I'm doing down at the bottom is I took a 4x6 photo and I actually cut it down to 2x3, very small. I did a little bit of matting around the edge because I had some extra space, and I'm just adding some little embellishments, and I'm doing it on both sides. So one side has a 2x3 photo with some embellishments, the other side, which is just the B side of that 4x6 cut apart, that also has a 2x3 photo matted with some embellishments. So it's very easy to mimic from side to side when you're doing these pocket pages. Like I said, you can just insert a 4x6 photo into each pocket and call it a day, but I like to add a little bit of something extra, and I don't have a problem trying to cut my photos down. So 2x3 seems really small, but when you think about where the focus of your photo is, a lot of photos can be cut down much smaller because the exterior of the photo is just like negative space. It's just useless space. So cropping a photo really does help you get to what the focus of the photo is. The two down at the bottom, one is of my daughter with chocolate ice cream all over her face, and I thought she looked like Tony Stark from Iron Man, so I took a picture of that. And then the other one on the other side is actually, I got the date wrong, that's actually from June 1st. I thought it was at the end of May, and I put it in my Shutterfly album with all of my May photos. And then as I was going back and looking at the dates for the photos, I went, oh, that was taken June 1st. But it's close enough. I had already, adhered it down and gotten everything good to go with it. So I was like, I'm just going to leave it, and no one's going to know, right? You're going to know now because I told you. I'll probably forget in a couple of years, so it's not really that big of a deal. But then I also have another 4x6 photo in the vertical slot that is something that I took from TikTok. I don't know if you use TikTok, but they have a lot of weird filters and AI things. And so I saw somebody do it, and I was like, okay, I'll try this filter. So it was an AI filter that was supposed to turn you into like a fantasy character or something. And it turned me into a man because I had my hair pulled back in a ponytail. So I guess, AI is not very good at recognizing certain things: teeth, hands, hair, ponytails, I guess. So it turned me into a man, and I just had to take a screenshot and print the photo because I was like, this is crazy. So I put a little journaling sticker right on top of that photo so I could write down what that was about. And then the one underneath it is a screenshot from my Instagram likes. I had shared a layout and tagged Tim Holtz in it because I was using the Distress Oxide spray, as I do, and he liked the photo. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So of course I took a screenshot. And to really draw attention to that part of the photo, because there are a lot of other likes and comments that you can see in the screenshot, I'm going to take a sticker and I'm going to put it right on top of that spot on that photo. So you'll see that in a couple minutes. This is kind of a long one, but sometimes when you're doing pocket pages, they're either really, really fast or they do take some time. A lot of it is just planning out where everything's going to go, planning out which photo was going to get cut down to a smaller size. The photo that I'm working on now was originally a horizontal 4x6. I cut it down to 3x4. I really wanted to have, it's from a virtual thing that I did during last year's US book show. And I really wanted to use book stickers. And I'm like, I know there has to be book stickers somewhere in this collection, and I couldn't find them. And then of course, after I finished this whole layout, I was organizing my pieces and putting them back into the plastic bag that I have where I'm keeping everything in order together. And I saw these giant book stickers and a book die cut, and I was like, those didn't make it. They were too big to make it into the little clip, the little name tag clip holder that I put small embellishments in. So they were loose inside my big bag, and I didn't realize it till the end. So I'm going to have to figure out another way to use those. I was kind of ticked off about that, but that's okay. There is the calendar piece that I was talking about earlier. And again, talking about cutting down photos, I took a 4x6 and I cut it to 3x4, and I just stuck it on the other side of that 4x6 cut apart to cover up the other piece. So the calendar piece is actually a 3x4. So when it's on a 4x6 sheet, there's an extra 3x4 next to it to make it fully 4x6. So I just covered up that other piece with the photo. I realized that I do need to put the US book photo back to the front. I kind of put that in backwards, not realizing it, but I'll figure that out in a few minutes. Right now I'm working on a photo of some flowers in our yard. I took a picture of these pretty flowers. I don't know what kind they are. If you know what kind they are, let me know, but they grow in a bush. We have two of them kind of on the side of our house. And I just thought they looked really pretty, so I took a picture of them. And I'm kind of adding a green, sort of a neon green matting, because there is a neon green color that's kind of going through the floral pattern that you see there, as well as in the 4x6 cut apart that says the word May. The back of that is a neon green. So I just went through my stash and I found this in my green cardstock bag. I like to organize my leftover cardstock colors into color coordinated bags just to make it a little bit easier for me when I'm like, oh, I need a red mat or I need something black. I can just go to the correct colored bag and see if I have anything that fits, that's the right size. So it looks like I'm matting that on that green. It didn't go all the way across, but you'll never know because the photo's covering up the gap. And then I'm just gonna add a few little embellishments here. That butterfly is going to get popped up on a foam square. Yes, it's still going to go into the pocket, but you will still get the feel of dimension even though it's inside a pocket. The other two photos that I have in the vertical slots are just two photos of my kid being silly. She likes to take selfies of herself on my phone sometimes. And the other one, I just couldn't cut it down. There's all these bubbles around her. We were outside playing with a bubble machine and she just looks so happy. And I just didn't want to cut any of it down because I didn't want to cut any of the bubbles out, right? So that stayed as a 4x6. Now I'm just adding a few more embellishments to really zhuzh up, like, you know, the thing that says May. And again, I'm putting things in backwards. I don't mean to. I will fix it. I'm getting confused as to what's the front side and what's the back side. One thing I will say about pocket pages, like if you're going to use one, you have to plan what's going to be on the back side. So if you only have enough photos to do a front side, you have to be thinking in advance what's going to be on the back side. So doing these monthly photo pocket pages is really easy because I always have a lot of photos, and I never have trouble filling up the spaces on both the front and the back. I'm just adding a little sticker to that photo there, and I'm looking for a small enough embellishment. I need something. I like the birds, but some of the birds are a little big, so I'm just kind of looking through all the pieces to find something that's a little bit smaller that won't, take up too much space, that will fit nicely on the photo where I want it. One thing I will say about the Simple Stories collection, I purchased, I think, almost everything from it. The sticker book, which is great, the chipboard outfit, the chipboard stickers, the die-cut ephemera pack. What else did I get? The 12x12 sticker sheet. So I have a lot of options. The enamel dots. I have a lot of options. And I know I'm only in May, so I still have several months of 2023 to do, but I'm fingers crossed not going to run out of stuff, even though it looks like I'm using a lot of stuff. Hopefully, because of the way I have planned, the way I've purchased, I'm not going to run out of supplies as I'm creating the rest of these months, especially because I don't know that you can buy this collection anymore. So if I needed extras, that would be bad. Another reason to not get so behind on all of these pages. So now I'm adding in a 12x2 strip of just red cardstock. It's not dark red, it's sort of a lighter red. And there were some red pieces in the collection, so I thought that would be good. I thought about doing a neon green, but the two neon green cardstocks that I had, which they were like a little bit off, and that was bothering me. So I went for this red piece, and I'm just adding some pattern paper strips, and I've got a little bit of green in there. I have the floral that's in some of the pattern paper that's on this layout as well, and then a heart-shaped one. I was going to do it the other side, but it was a little too light, and I needed there to be a little bit more contrast, so I went for the darker side with the hearts, and that again gives me some of that neon green that just ties everything all in together. But there's also some red in it as well. I felt like maybe I needed to add something else to this side of it, to this side of that red paper strip. So I'm kind of like, oh, I like these flowers. Let's see what other flowers I can get. And I'm like, why am I trying to stack even more on top of these three paper strips? Like that should just be enough. I don't need to add anything else. It's going to get too busy. It's a 12 by 2 paper strip, So then I'm like, let's turn it over to the other side and just add a cluster of a few embellishments on that side. And I'm doing it on the bottom so that it's different than the other side, which is on the top. And then I'm putting it in here. But as I said before, this is one of the reasons why I don't like this style, because as it is a side pocket opening, this paper strip falls out very easily. So I'm taking a big glue dot and I'm sticking it on both sides, and I'm really trying to work it into the plastic so that it sticks and doesn't lose the adhesive. But hopefully that will keep it in as I'm flipping through the pages of my album. So that's just a little tip. Here are some close-ups. You can see things in a little bit more detail. I hope this video was inspiring for you and that you give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching it, and that you come back next week for more scrapbook process videos. Bye.